let's get into the big five. So in the big five, we talk about 5 key topics from which we gathered after watching. The first of the big five is a good question, a good debate. I have seen YouTube videos breaking down this. Like, you don't know, you know, in anime, right? There is whole YouTube channels where what they do is they compare characters from different shows and they basically say who's stronger, and there's science. Like they say this character, he has a move where he can break the moon. That's this amount of times and all this
The
stuff.
man are like pundits.
Literally, like they analyze the science. Seth the programmer, he's one of them. He literally analyzes the science. Oh, his punch is worth a megatron. There is a whole field of guys who try break this down. So this is not a simple question,
Of course.
but our topic, first one, L beats Light, who is actually smarter.
Of course.
So tell me your thoughts.
I mean, look, we discussed this a little bit during the last episode, and look, who's smarter? Let's be real now. We know the answer to that, and it is Light. How do we know that? Because Light is alive. Yeah, simple. Just like that. Just like that. The brother's breathing. The brother's walking. He's talking, bro. L is packed off. He's gone. That brother's gone. So, first of all, that's that. We already know that. But when we actually look into it and we say, okay, yeah, why is Light smarter than L? I mean, it's for us. Like, the reason is very, very simple. Because when you look at L was like Sherlock Holmes. L has traditional detective skills that he uses. But when you actually look at Light and the skills he has, he also has a little bit of those traditional detective skills. But, you know, Light also has the ability of adaptation and psychological manipulation. That's the difference. And I think because Light has that ability to adapt in whatever situation he is. You know, let's say, for example, like, bro, like, what kind of brains does he have? Like, this guy, like, giving up the Death Note, first of all. Like, giving up the Death Note and and not only did he give it up, he passed it on along to one of the members of the Yotsuba group. He wanted to give the Death Note to a person who was greedy, who wasn't
He had specific rules. He said, give it to a person who is greedy, who loves money, and will use it for himself.
Literally.
And he schemed his whole way. He said, I will eventually reach it.
L has the ability to analyze human behavior. And in terms of certain things that you do, like say for certain killings, he understands the reasons behind the killings. You know, for certain movements of Light, he understands, okay, why is Light doing it? But at the end, and there's times in it where you see, okay, yeah, L was trying to play moves on Light, but Light already knows. The guy already knows. So when it comes down to it, it's Light, man. It's Light, and I think anyone who denies it's not Light is just in denial. You know, there are certain things that need heavy analyzation for there to be an outcome. This does not need heavy analyzation, in my opinion.
Okay, could you say this, right? We're saying Light is smarter because he's still alive and he outplanned L.
Of course.
Now, is the reason Light is ahead of L not because he's smarter, but simply because he has lower morals? Because if you think about it, they were both trying to kill each other, right? But L was trying to catch him with irrefutable evidence. And then he was going to kill him, whilst Light was going to kill him by any means. Because you could argue that when L had Light in prison, but just didn't have that irrefutable evidence, he would have won if he had Light's type of lack of morals. If he said, I'm going to catch this guy by all costs, he could have caught him. But he had to let him go because he didn't have that irrefutable evidence. And we have to remember, L never said it's not Light. Like, remember, if you look at what was going on in the early part of the arc, L was kind of depressed.
Yeah.
He's depressed because his theory doesn't make sense to them. And he had to try and rationalize it. And then eventually he came to the theory which was correct. He said the Kira power has passed on and that Light had the power, definitely, but lost the power. But he was trying to figure out whether Light had the power and gave it up willingly, or whether he didn't give it up willingly and he schemed it and planned it. But he did catch him.
Yeah.
Is it just his lack of morals that Light is just a killer, Light is just a dog, he don't care?
When it comes to Lights, it's a very, very fair point. And it's a point that I do believe plays a part into Light's victory over L. Morals. I think, because this is the thing, when you have no morals, you can do anything. You can do anything. You can do anything. And I think just because he has that ability, that mindset, where he has lower morals, there's certain things that he can exploit that a person with morals wouldn't exploit. Like, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. But still, I still think, L, as we've also discussed, L, there have been moments, where we're like, what about L's morals? Are L's morals really that to the level we really talk about? So at the end of the day, I do feel like the fact that Light has no morals has led to his victory. But I still do think that he is overall smarter in other abilities as well. But we also still need to analyze L's morals as well.
To be honest, I do agree with you. I think Light is smarter because for me, my evidence is this. When Light has lost his memory, we're basically just seeing his pure intelligence in the role that L does. And if you watch that arc, if you talk about he performed better, you would have to say Light outperformed L when they were both detectives. There was more moments of L saying, oh, Light, I never did that, that's actually smart. Then there was of Light saying about L. There was both sides. Like when Light basically baited, he was L to the Yotoba people. Like L was like to him, oh, Light made a mistake. But there was too many instances. There was more instances of Light showing more outperforming essentially. Like if I was to grade both of them, I would have put Light's performance as a clean detective ahead of L's. But part of Light's victory over L is lack of morals, and is knowledge and intelligence the same thing? Because he had more knowledge of the Death Lord.
Yeah.
So is it the fact that he has the knowledge of the Death Note is the reason why he was able to outmaneuver L, because L did not also have that same knowledge?
I think I think that's a point that is partially true as well. I think that's definitely a point that's true. I think no. L was playing a losing game. L was playing a losing game from the jump. Light was always gonna have the upper hand just because of he just knew things. He just knew things, and in most situations where let's say there's criminals and law enforcement, at the very start of the race, the criminal always has, the head start. over the.
They have more knowledge.
Yeah,
They have more knowledge.
no?
They have knowledge of what they've done. They have knowledge of the mistakes they've made. They have knowledge of what they need to hide.
Of course.
Because L don't know that Light needs to hide his method of killing, and he needs to hide a specific notebook and the papers. He's got to figure that stuff out.
Literally.
But again, the reason why I would say Light is more smarter is because when Light lost his memories and they're both in the same situation, Light still outperformed L.
100%. Overall, when you watch the show overall, you just see instances where you say, okay, yeah, Light's knowledge is very, very, it's up there, man. It's up there.
One of the best moves I've ever seen in anime, in this show, when he put the fake rules to put them under pressure, where he said, everybody who touches it will die within 13 days. He cleared himself and put L under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Those fake rules.
Yeah, he's a strategist, I think, and what made him a winner was that he played the long-term game. He ultimately, his ultimate plan was to get rid of L. That was the ultimate plan. But still, he went through all these little mazes, just all these little mazes, just to get to that end victory. Just that end victory. So I think his long-term way of thinking is just, I think that's what puts him up there.
Yeah, they're both geniuses, but I think for me, the Situation X review answer is Light gets the win. I think Light is smarter.
Cool.